And I'm so excited that you, as a community, I'm getting a chill for you, will be doing Prosperity Plus. Are you excited? Yes. You all know about Prosperity Plus? Okay. You don't want to miss this experience, because some of you are going, well, I don't know if I have the time. You're going to be watching everyone soar and going, wow, what did you eat? I want to go do that again. It's having phenomenal results, success all over the country. Churches are doing it 2 and 3 times and saying, can you make another program for us? Because the results in people's lives have been so phenomenal. So you have a wonderful opportunity to work with your fabulous ministers here to do Prosperity Plus. Don't miss the opportunity. The fun part for you is seeing me here today, you will already have known the surprise ending. And that's all I'm going to tell you about, because it is quite a story. So I am Karen Joyce, and I am the CPO, the Chief Possibility Officer of my life. I'm the Chief Possibility Officer of my company, which is called My Next Big Step, and I'm the Chief Possibility Officer of my life, and so are you. Every day you have the opportunity to create this brand new baby day as an open possibility for what you want it to be. And so you get to decide. So I'll do a little talk this morning, and then I have a workshop this afternoon that you will spend 2 hours and go out of that workshop with all the tools you need to not only thrive, but to absolutely love your life every single day. Who could get excited? Okay? Guaranteed. Money back guarantee. Do they pay? Oh no. So, there were 3 salesmen, and they were on the road traveling together. There was a Hindu, a Jew, and a negativist. And a negativist is somebody who worships at the altar of negativity. And they were on the road, they were selling their goods, and it was a whole 5-day trip, and at the end of the 5th day, on day 5, they were heading home, and all of a sudden their car broke down. And when their car broke down, they're going, oh, we'll have to go fix it, and we can probably find a shop. And the negative said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I just needed to get home. This has been 5 long days on the road with you. I'm tired. I want to get home. And he just started complaining. And then the Hindu and the Jew say, you know, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. We'll get the car fixed. We'll be right on our way. So they see a little gas station, and they go over there. It has a mechanic. And he said, looks at the car, and he says, great news. I can fix this for you. It's not a problem. But there is only one little hitch. We're closing in 5 minutes, and everybody's going home. So you'll just need to spend the night tonight. And so they go, oh, what are we going to do? And the negative starts complaining again. He says, don't worry, I have an extra room in my house. You can come stay with us. It has 2 twin beds. And then there's 3 of you. I have a barn, and one of you could bed down in the barn. We'll put a little cot in there. I said, okay. And the negative is complaining the whole time. And so when they get there, the Hindu says, I'll sleep in the barn, no problem. So he goes to the barn to sleep. And the Jew and the atheist, negativist, good, thank you. Negativist, the negativist bed down for the night, and about 30 minutes later, there's a knock on the door. And the Hindu, they open the door, and there's the Hindu, and he says, oh, I'm very, very sorry, but there is a sacred cow in the barn, and in my culture, we cannot sleep with a sacred cow, so would it be okay if I stayed in the room? And the Jew said, no problem, I'll go down and sleep there. So he does. He goes down and he beds for the night. The other 2 go back to bed, and then all of a sudden a knock at the door. Knock, 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 30 minutes later. And it's the Jew, and he says, I'm sorry, guys, but there's a pig in the barn. And in my culture, we cannot be with an unclean pig. So I just can't sleep in it. So the negative goes, oh, forget it. I'm not going to get any sleep anyway. So let me just go down to the barn and I'll sleep there. So he does. And about 30 minutes later, there's knock at the door, and it's the pig and the cow. It's good, isn't it? So, surviving, thriving, and loving life. Right now, what you need to now you've already survived because you showed up here today, but what you do need to survive right now are negative people, the environment, the scary economy, everything that's happening with the economy, the great big boogeyman out there, and self-doubt. Wouldn't you agree? So surviving people, the environment, negative self-doubt. How do you do that? There's a Zen saying that says, be a master of mind rather than mastered by your mind. So and you've heard masterminding, but you want to take that to a whole new level where you now have an experience that every single day you master your mind. I have been given many opportunities in my lifetime to go through the dark night of the soul. And many of you in the room have been. We all have degrees of our experiences. In the dark night of my soul, which has been very frightening, one of the darkest places I could ever go, how I got through that was learning to not only manage my mind, but learn how to micromanage my mind so that I could save my own life. And during the workshop, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But what you want to do is learn how to master and be the master of your mind so that you take your day and you create it. Have you ever noticed at the end of the day you went, I got through it? Anybody? Okay. Because you know why? Because the day does you, instead of you making a conscious choice to create the day. And so that's the work I do, is showing people how to absolutely every single day create the day you love, because if you have a successful day and you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you've had a successful week. And if you have 52 of those, you've had a successful year. And if you have 130 of them, which I plan to do, then you're going to have a successful life. Wouldn't you agree? So it all begins with mastering your mind so you can co-create every single day. Not just the times when you want to get the job or the promotion or the relationships. We do that. We do that with projects, don't we? But how many of us do that every single morning, first thing in the day? Well, Lisa knows. Lisa, we came up here last night and she saw me, and Kathleen works with me, she knows. There's one thing I do first thing in the morning, and I'm going to teach it to you in the workshop, and it's going to take you 10 minutes every day that will completely change your life. Are you excited? Yes. Are you going to show up? Yes. Okay. You don't want to miss this. Oop. Here we go. This is fun. You know what they say? Perfect is boring. Certainly want to bore you. Okay. So these people, these negative people, environment, all this information that's coming in, it was Jesus that says, dust off the sand of your, shake the dust off your sandals. And so sometimes you've got to shake off those negative people. You've got to shake off that negative energy. I don't watch any television. I TiVo everything so I could just go through what I want to watch and how I want to watch it on my time and the messages that I want to come in. I'm very careful about protecting myself, my personal environment, and so should you. Because what happens is when we get into that negative conversation, what happens? It just starts to create an energy within us. Now, I want to be aware of what's going on in the world. And certainly, wouldn't you agree, there's so much that's going on in the world right now. And there's so much that's going on that we could get scared, couldn't we? But rather than being scared, what we want to do is move into possibility. Because right now what's happening is we're experiencing an evolution on the planet. The planet is evolving, and so are we as a species. One of my favorite women and mentors is Barbara Marx Hubbard. And she has said that we're the first species to witness our own evolution. So if we look at, as the Dalai Lama says, take the long view. If we look at the long view of what's happening, yes, this is scary right here, but we don't see the whole picture. So we don't know what the whole scenario is. And it's hard to see the picture it's hard to see the picture, the frame when you're in the picture, isn't it? Okay? So it's hard to see the whole thing because we're right here in it. But when we look at the evolutionary scale and generations will go by, we'll have seen how all this is going on has played for the transformation of humans and the transformation of society and the transformation of ourselves. So you have a very important part to play in the evolution of your being, of the evolution of yourself, of the evolution of your family history. Now you have had, and I've had, a very significant negative upbringing as a child, and luckily through the mastering of my mind I was taught early enough how to do that, and obviously you were too, so that I could change my family lineage. I could change the culture with which I raised my children. I could change the health and well-being and the financial situations. And why? Because these tools that you learn every week so well from this church are the ones that you master and take to your daily life. And so it's so important to realize you're not just doing Prosperity Plus so that you can become wealthy and not have to worry about money anymore, although that's a good idea, because then you won't. But you come so you take a stand for your generation. You take a stand for your family lineage to get out of that fear thinking. Because once it starts to change for you, it starts to change for everybody in your environment because they see how you're living and it makes a difference. So we want to go from surviving to thriving. And how do you go from surviving to thriving? What you do is you move from probability thinking to